Hello again! For the unaware, RWBY Beyond is a series of beautifully drawn, almost animatics exploring a post-Volume 9 remnant and its characters. Today, I will be discussing these episodes with you. But first, a thank you to my wonderful patrons for making these episodes possible. Links below. RWBY Beyond is meant to cover events that would not be seen in the show itself and was being used to foreshadow events yet to come. Because of the tragic closure, only 4 episodes were finished, worked onto the last day in a startling show of love for craft, creation, and community by RWBY. As ever, I wish them all the best and hope that with Vix Media, they can be rehired and perhaps pick the series up again. Now, on to the reviews. Chapter 1.
The Junior Detectives! Excuse me.
A light and breezy intro episode that let us check in with a lot of other characters during the period in which Team RWBY and Jean were lost. This was a great introduction to Vacuo as a setting, which is utterly gorgeous, and it even began dropping hints of what is to come, such as Ozpin and co seemingly falling back on bad habits with secretive attitudes and a mysterious new or not new character. We also got our first look at Vacuo's headmaster, great design, and Crow said ACAB. Respect! It ends on a bittersweet note that almost feels like RWBY speaking to the audience and asking us not to give up hope on them, and suffice to say, we didn't, and they were right to give us hope. Despite me being lukewarm on Sun and Neptune as characters, I enjoyed this and think it was a wonderful way to tell short stories that expand the world and cast. Chapter 2.
This is the very first entry in what I guess is about to become my journal. I'm the Rusted Knight. I guess I was the Rusted Knight, but the Rusted Knight wasn't really me. Who is Jean now?
God, I love Vacuo's aesthetic, it's just so good. I especially love both portions of the episode and concept art showing how the modern technology is woven into the more classical architecture. This is not only great to look at, but serves as a wonderful clapback against all that rather unseemly speculative critique. Namely the stuff that claimed Vacuo was a benighted land bereft of anything but sand and scorn, doomed without technology thanks to the loss of Atlas, and destined to fail without Atlesian science. Spare me. Now, onto the episode. I was both shocked and pleased to get insight into how Jean's character is going to be handled. Young, then old, then young again. A figure in a story but only to his friends, because covering all that with regular people is kind of a lot. It gives us a nice sense of where his head is, and it's especially interesting that he sought out Oscar, someone else who is experienced with memories that outstrip his youthful visage. To say that Oscar and Ozpin's efforts to resist the mind meld are going poorly would be an understatement.
Don't get me wrong, I'm not unhappy to be back. I just feel out of place. Like I've left the world by and it's done the same.
Believe me, I know what that's like. I've been the subject of a couple of fairy tales myself.
You mean Ozpin has, right?
Of course.
But much like with the episode's own theme, the effort itself has its own meaning. Learning that they came from Vacuo before the war, and that because of Vacuo's history of colonization and stereotype, Jean himself was surprised by that, was really neat. These factors make their design so interesting, and to me indicate there's a permanent portal somewhere in Vacuo. Headcanon, the Hunter Mice are originally from Remnant and just kept ascending into mice again until somewhat. Hearing about how the Afterons tried to make the kids feel welcome and seeing both kids and Juniper at the campfire was so bittersweet.
It was like having my team back. People around you who make you feel more than you are. Or maybe they see you in a way you can't see yourself. It's the same kind of warmth that a good fire brings. And laughter. And a good meal.
Is a wonderful little line reminding me of a quote. The love was there. It didn't change anything, but it was important all the same. Great episode. Chapter 3.
I can do this. I can do this. We can do this.
Tasked by the blacksmith, they were given a somewhat ambiguous quest. Find what feels wrong. When asked where to look, the blacksmith simply replied, "Do what your heart desires. Do what feels right."
Someone could carry a children's book series, a TV show, a movie, a life sim, an adventure sim, and more. I am sure of it. I love them and will pay good money for somewhat merchandise. Suffice to say, I enjoyed this episode, and seeing Somewhat and Juniper's adventures after RWBY and co left was an enjoyable epilogue that gives us a sense of their ongoing journey. That recurring theme of somewhat in the narration was really clever. This really did feel like a lovely storybook. Felt so sad when they couldn't find who they were looking for, though. Also, cat spotted, in Neapolitan colours maybe? The segment with the Red Prince had a marvellous aesthetic, and I felt the need to tear up from sheer affection for Somewhat throughout. I like that we are seeing the ripples of RWBY and Jean's influence on the Ever After, and this was a great way to show it.
What is your purpose?
To win this game.
That doesn't seem very fair. What if it doesn't have to be? I'm still new here, but I've met loads of Afterans and people that have grown and found new things to do, even without going to the tree. Who knows? Maybe you could teach others to win.
Then we get to the brothers' workshop and someone returning to the ever after, and I was screaming. Of course, RWBY would tease us like this. Chapter 4.
Oh my gosh. Seriously, Yang? You brought me to Bubba! All the flavors, the milk teas, the smoothies, the boba.
So, is it the right amount of exciting?
Are you kidding? Why did you even downplay this?
Best sisters, Boba sisters, the best Boba sisters. Forgive my excitement, but I adore these two, and I think capping this miniseries off with this episode was the right choice, especially given the circumstances. As ever, I still adore Vacuo's aesthetic, thanks to everyone who worked on this wonderful love letter to RWBY. Seeing something as contemporary as a Boba store casually around is just a nice treat for my world-building soul. Modern doesn't have to mean skyscrapers or picket fence suburbs after all, and it's interesting to hear about the integration happening when the epilogue also showed the struggles of the same. But to the story. When it came to RWBY's return from the dead as with the one who united the world, I have been saying, give that girl a cut on Tumblr, and it seems I may be in the ballpark. I've been sent interesting matter regarding how RWBY is everything Jax, the villain broken out by Tyrion and Mercury in the epilogue, wants to be, and how he will likely hate her, so there's some really interesting potential there for political and physical conflict. The conversation between RWBY and Yang was suitably weighty and very respectful in its handling of the matter of RWBY's ascension and what led her to be in such a vulnerable state. I like the emphasis Yang puts on RWBY not needing to justify, defend, or recant her decision, but instead Yang keeping emphasis on the fact that she is there for RWBY and affirming her needs as best she can. I also really liked RWBY admitting that she also hadn't been asking for help and that there was no real blame there either, so much as an acknowledgement of it being a complex and messy situation. The code word for when feeling overwhelmed but not able to properly communicate one's needs is brilliant, and I like that they managed to have such a nuanced discussion without falling into therapy speak, which can sometimes be immersion breaking. Ty coming up was a surprise, and it seems he's off doing something that either Ozpin and the others are unaware of, or that they are hiding given the girls don't know. Though I do not think he is guarding the relic, unless his job is literally just to be near it so Raven can portal in reinforcements, because one hunter who hasn't done much more than teach high school for nearly 20 years is not going to do anything against Salem or Cinder. Unless his semblance is storing aura for decades so he can be a living bomb, but that's a one-shot trick and would only maybe take out Cinder and would be iffy thematically speaking. Naturally, talk of RWBY and Yang's childhood sparked debate, but I will be leaving that for another day. Ultimately, this was a heartfelt and touching episode and a moving note to go out on. Thank you to RWBY for all their labours of love and to you for stopping by. If you'd like to help support my work, please swing by my Patreon. If you'd like to commission 3D models, please hit up my Ko-fi. Thanks for tuning in.